The biggest risk of Cronos is probably no one less than Kris Marszalek. So guys, let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm yours truly, the Coin Baron, and my main mission is to grow your wealth. And we'll do so by actually accumulating and selling later on Cronos or CRO. As we're building our portfolio of CRO, well, I think it is really important to also address the risks related to Cronos and the Crypto.com ecosystem. Therefore, guys, in this video, we'll try to explain why Kris Marszalek is really, well, a symptom of the bigger risk called Crypto.com. First and foremost, I think it's really important to also acknowledge that the crypto exchange Crypto.com is also the driving force behind Cronos. Without the exchange, I think right now, Cronos would not have enough use cases to even be in the crypto top 100. One of the core strengths of cryptocurrency is the decentralization. So having only one entity, well, that is already a risk. However, having said that, most of the current crypto projects do have only one central entity that pushes changes. For example, we have the Ethereum Foundation or the Polygon Foundation. And so there are a plethora of foundations or organizations to make sure a roadmap is made or development is done on the chain. Moreover, these foundations often have ecosystem funds, so they can also support other creators on their chain. So overall, it doesn't have to be a big risk that in the early stages, really, the central Crypto.com platform is still pulling the strings. But of course, as we are developing more, it should become more and more decentralized. But okay, then let's take a look at what really sets apart Cronos from the competition. And I think that's where the first cracks start to appear. The technology that Cronos is using is mainly a copy from other existing technology. So for example, the original crypto.org chain is a copy basically of the Atom chain. And also you have the Cronos chain. Well, that one is using the Ethereum virtual machine. So basically just like any other layer 2 solution, for example, such as Polygon. Of course, you don't have to reinvent the wheel again, but that also makes sure with this technology stack that you can't really specify your chain as being the cheaper or being the fastest one. It does enable you though to have a lot of the existing use cases such as smart contracts, gaming, NFTs, DeFi. Overall, there are plenty of use cases available even with the current technology, but there's nothing special about the Cronos chain. This is though a strategy that we have seen before and it actually worked back then, and that was with the Binance Chain. Binance also doesn't offer faster transaction speed, but what it does offer is the great ecosystem. You can buy your stuff on Binance and you can easily move over to the Binance Chain to participate in DeFi, smart contracts, whatever. While this strategy works, it is also extremely risky. For example, in my case, Binance is no longer available in the Netherlands. Therefore, I have no easy access to the Binance chain anymore. And therefore, well, I am not really likely to actually use the Binance chain. It is not decentralized enough, and I actually have a hard time bridging funds from one chain to the Binance chain. The user base of the Netherlands is relatively small, so I think the overall risk for Binance is also, again, relatively small. But just imagine this happening to bigger countries. What if actually Binance had to leave the United States, for example? That would be a big blow to the user base of the Binance chain. It is mainly the risk of the platform and legislation that makes it really hard for me to invest any more into Binance or Binance related products. Crypto.com, on the other hand, does have their things a bit better organized, as they are getting more and more licenses from many jurisdictions. However, I still think there is some risk involved in this. Moreover, next to the legislation risk, there is also quite heavy dependency on Crypto.com to actually push the ecosystem. And luckily, Crypto.com has a lot of funds available, but is this enough to actually grow the chain organically? To take away some of the concerns, I do think that the NFT edition of the Cronos chain is an amazing play in the book of Crypto.com. Overall, on crypto Twitter, on Instagram, on all these social medias, I do think that the Load Alliance game is making sure that there is more activity as well on the Cronos chain. Also, another round of applause is needed as well for the engineering team behind Cronos, because so far the chain has been really running stable and also improvements are coming in slowly as well. And I think this is really important. The chain might not be that flashy, not that cheap, but a stable running chain is more important than, well, something like Solana that has crazy throughput, but is breaking down basically every other week. Anyways, while talking about the blockchain running on Cronos is very important, I think the majority of users of the Crypto.com ecosystem haven't even touched the DeFi wallet, but the majority actually uses the Crypto.com app. The Crypto.com app is the main cash cow for Crypto.com, and overall I think it's also the main driver for any price action with Cronos. Want to get free Cronos? Use the app. Want to get a metal Visa card? Use the app. Want to stay crypto? Use the app. Overall, guys, you want to use the app for the majority of things happening within the Crypto.com ecosystem. Of course, that's also the biggest strength, I think, of Crypto.com, the app, because it's your one-stop shop for basically everything in crypto. Staking, NFTs, cards, whatever, it's all within the one app. As the app is also the place where you will get the majority of your CRO rewards, it is also the place for the team of Crypto.com to dial down or dial up the rewards. And this, guys, is I think the most important part of this video. If you get a Crypto.com Visa card, for example, the Ruby Red one, you get a 1% cashback on every purchase. But what can happen in the next bull run is that the team says, well, let's actually dial up this rate. Let's make it 2 or 3%. In that case, you probably are very, very happy. And I think the overall demand for those metal Visa cards is going up again, and therefore also pushing, I think, the CRO price. However, also the opposite can happen. So right now you're earning 1% as a cashback on your Ruby Red card. That can also go down to 0%. No one is really stopping the Crypto.com team from doing so. Well, no one can. Actually, I think there's one person that can make those changes, and that is Kris Marszalek, the CEO and founder of Crypto.com. Crypto.com is a completely privately owned company, and probably the majority of shares are held by Kris Marszalek. I think overall Kris has made very good decisions to actually grow the company. While you're getting a lot of free things, I don't think Crypto.com is a charity, and it's also good to print that in your mind. Things are probably going to change and are not going to change for the better. Right now, Crypto.com is in a growth phase, and of course they will offer crazy rebates already in the next bull cycle to actually attract more customers, but those crazy rebates probably also are gone in the next bear cycle as well. In the past though, it did seem that Kris was actually open for community feedback, and as long as he does so, well, I think we can be a happy customer as well of Crypto.com. So that's also, I think, one of the positive sides of this is not only bad. There is one more thing though that I think I need to mention, and that is, well, the commercials. Crypto.com is, I think, known to the majority by all their great commercials. For example, Formula 1, World Cup, and I think even in the boxing arena, you do see the Crypto.com logo a lot. And of course, I think those commercials are again part of the growth strategy. But I think the same thing as well, this growth strategy one day will probably stop and you will see less and less commercials. With less commercials, there is probably also less demand for CRO, or less spikes at least for the CRO price. Because of course, look back at the previous cycle for CRO, when they actually were pushing a lot of things, like for example, the commercial with Matt Damon, well, the price was really spiking. And we probably can expect something similar like that in the next cycle. So those things are really important for any price movement, but are also, again, in the hands of, for example, people like Kris Marszalek. So guys, do take in consideration, Crypto.com is a privately owned company and they can do whatever they want with their products, and they are doing rightfully so. To finish up the video, I do think that, well, great companies have great leaders. And so far, Kris Marszalek has done a marvelous job. And that's also, I think, one of the greatest assets of the Crypto.com ecosystem. Because of this, well, this great asset, I keep investing into CRO as well. There are no stock options available. Anyways, just wanted to share the information, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this. And also, of course, please like this video and subscribe for more. But this is me, I'm the Coin Baron, and we'll see you in a future video. Till then.